Hey, I'm Joshua Mundy, serial entrepreneur and co-founder of Cocktail Crush. Join me as I take you to some of the world's sexiest lounges to meet up with some of the best creatives on the planet over drinks. So I'm happy to be here at Minerva Lounge with the legend himself.
Oh man.
This is Creatives Over Cocktails. And man, yes, you're a true Nashville legend.
Man, thank
And
you.
I always say, man, there's nobody like somebody that can come and integrate themselves in the city. We had Daryl J. So back in the day, Daryl J. worked at
My
92Q, right?
Right.
When Daryl J. got fired, man, the whole city was in uproar.
Oh my
And
goodness. No!
Oh no!
Right.
And radio controls the pulse of the city, man. Like it really does, man. So tell us your story, where you come from, how did you end up in Nashville, how did you end up in radio? Like what's it all
man,
about?
it's an interesting story. Well, first, I got to Nashville, man. You know, the crazy part about Nashville is that I told the vice president of our company, our entire company, no to this job twice. I was in Myrtle Beach. I was living on the beach. I had a good thing going on, man. There was a big fish in a little pond. Like, man, I'll just stay here, man, and run this, right? So I remember it was like it was May the 26th. He called me this third time. It was like, so look, I'll see you on the 26th, in Nashville, and don't be late. I'll be there at noon. Click. That was basically like either you gonna be in Nashville or you're gonna have a job.
Right.
So it was like I had to, make all these changes, and God just looks out for me, because I'm a fool. So God looks out for fools and babies.
Yeah.
So he was like, this is where you need to be to get you there, and it was just been a great thing to be here in the city, and to acclimate myself to what's happening here. But radio, when I started radio, man, it was on a humbug. Man, I'm a club DJ by trade. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So I've been DJing in clubs since I was 16, and so if y'all see that, hey, King Smooth gonna be DJing tonight, you need to come see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we shake it, right?
Okay, yeah.
I don't get out as much as I used to, trying to slow that train down a little bit and getting old. So,
Right.
but I was in a club, and I'm the house DJ, and there was another DJ there that was supposed to do the remote. You live broadcast from the club.
Right.
So there was a club remote. And so the night DJ at that radio station was supposed to come. Well, they opened up another club the same night, and that club was going to pay him $1,000 to be in the appearance.
Yeah.
And the remote was only $100. So he just went on to the other club, didn't call the program director, didn't do none of that. Just didn't show up. So here's 9:30, the remote starts at 10. PD runs in there. Look, man, can you just do this for us? Don't play no curse words. Don't do none of that mess.
Yeah.
And if you coming for it, man, I promise you. I was like, man, I didn't even want to do radio. I said, no, I don't want to do this. But I'm going to do it for a favor because I know that business is, you do favors.
Right.
So I did it for him that night. We did that night. I mean, we packed that club that night. I put the club vibe on the air.
Yeah.
I didn't do the radio thing. I did the club thing and put it on the air. People came out. I've been on the radio every day since then.
Wow.
That's how that worked out. I've been on the radio every day since that day. And so sometimes, guys, when the opportunity comes to you, take the shot, man.
Yeah.
Shoot the shot. This was probably the most rewarding thing I've done with my life, was to take that shot. Because
Wow.
it took me so many places I've had, so many different experiences, and doing radio is the ability to touch people, like you said, and to pulse the city.
Yes.
And to be able to do that, man, is an honor, all the cities I've been in.
Oh man, that's incredible, man. So we're in Music City, so it's a lot of aspiring artists.
Yeah.
So and then the first thing they want to do is get their song on the radio.
Right.
Like, what does that look like? How's that process of, man, I'm a starving artist. Most of them are starving artists. But how do they approach that getting on the radio? Like, what does that look like?
It's morphed over time. Before, the radio had two jobs. It was to break the artist and the record, and then to take them through the levels of stardom until you get to that stardom level. So we're still a little bit into the breaking business, but not as much. Now the cool part about it is now you can control your own destiny with the breaking part.
Right.
I can make a song on my iPad. This iPad got a whole DAW on it. I can make a song on my iPad, mix it down, master it.
Yeah.
send it off, put it on SoundCloud, and start my process
Right.
of people knowing who I am and discovering me. So you can get the discovery part done that way. And tons of people do it. There are tons of artists out there with millions of followers, you know, that never got one spin. You know, the homie Nipsey that just passed, you know,
Right.
he
Rest
didn't
in
do a lot
peace.
of radio play. He didn't do a lot of
Yeah.
that, but he's a star in his own right.
Right.
He was about to go to that next spot. Unfortunately, of course, cut down, you know, very unfortunate, but you need to be on that side of the game. I think more radio part of it now is to take you through the levels of stardom.
Gotcha.
That's what radio is going to take you through. But the initial part, I love it. It's on you now. You can't just run up on me in the Kroger while I'm trying to pick apples for the house. Hey man, I got my mixtape, man. Can you play my song on the radio? The first thing I'm gonna ask you is what your streams look like.
Right.
Where your streams at? What are your followers like on social media? What are you doing? My job is not to make you a star.
Right.
That's your job.
Gotcha.
The marriage happens when you give me something I need, and I give you something you need.
Yeah.
And it's business. And
Yeah.
you know, you're a businessman, you know all about that.
All
and
about
so you can't come into the situation as a beggar. You gotta come into the situation as the person, I got something you need, bro. What's that? I got 50,000 followers in Nashville that listen to my music. Now I'm sitting up.
Right.
Well, tell me more. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear this song you got going on.
Yeah.
And that's how it works, man. But a lot of times the guys don't want to do the work. They think that the radio's responsibility is to make them a star, and nothing could be further from the truth.
So what would you say the future of radio? So you have so many mediums with Spotify, iTunes, and people really don't have to like tune into the radio anymore.
Right.
So like what is the future of radio? What does that look like? And like how do you gauge that? Like are you all preparing yourself for the next wave or phase?
It's gonna radio's like a cockroach, man. It's gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? When they blow all of that up, radio's still gonna be here. It's free, it's portable, and the thing about it is the talents that you have on there. You know, it's still gotta be a person to talk about this person thing, this music thing. Who do I trust in that lane? Who do I trust in that space? Who do I trust to tell me this thing with Dr. Sean Joseph? What's going on with that? You know what I'm saying? Spotify can't do that for you.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
YouTube can't do that for you to some degree. And so the radio will always have a piece of that pie and a real large part of it. Before we had 100% of the audio landscape. At the end of it, it'll probably end up being a 50 or 55% of the landscape. But here's the deal. If you want to become a star, you need to come on the radio.
Gotcha. So looking at your career, I say was that over 20 years? Mm-hmm. So over a 20-year career, what would you say your greatest failure was, what you learned from it, and then what was your greatest like success, like the thing that you hang your hat on and say, man, look, I did that. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know what? I think my greatest failure, man, it's more personal. Has been like when my marriage dissolved. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to keep it all together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It all couldn't stay together. But I tell people this in my journey with it, because like when you come intern for me, I don't just teach you radio. I teach you how to live in radio.
Right.
That's the most important part.
It's the most important
You
part.
gotta know how to live in the game, because that's what you're gonna be doing.
Right.
Like when you do radio, I'm sorry, dude, whatever person you were, that person is when you get off that mic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or your family knows that person, but you are Kenny Smooth.
Yeah.
Period. You know, so I tell people all the time, make sure you got somebody with you that's gonna ride. But that's probably the failure, man. But I think my on the achievement side, I would say that my achievement has been in every city I've gone in, I've been able to take stations to #1 in every single city I've been in. And different formats, hip hop, R&B's, gospel, whatever station I touched, before I left that station was #1 at least once while I was there.
Man, that is amazing. It's always great to talk to the legends, man. Kenny
I'm
Smooth,
glad to be
92Q, the morning show, which is blowing up.
Don't forget the cocktails part,
yes, man.
Cheers.
It's the cocktail. Cheers, man.
He's got that guidance. I see you,
the
man.
guidance, man. Yeah. Cradles over cocktails. We out of here. So I'm here with the culture catalyst himself, Mr. I Am Black Rob, Mr. Robert Higgins, Mr. Nashville. What's good, man?
I'm good. How you doing? You gave me a lot of titles though, man.
Come on, man. Which one would you rather have?
Mr. Higgins. I'm good, man.
Mr. Higgins, man. You have really put your stamp down in Nashville.
Yeah.
I've been seeing you, I guess, throwing parties for the last 10 years. Is that 10, 15 years?
13.
13 years. You've really been a staple in Nashville. So how did Robert Higgins get into this space? What made you stay in Nashville? I know you're not from Nashville, so what made you plant your ground in Nashville?
So I don't really know. It's a good question. I always consider moving so many times. Like, man, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna give a vibe. I know I had these conversations with you all the time. Like, man, I can't make people see what I see. But as time got on, I never lost my vision of the goals that I set for Nashville. Like, of course, you always think expand, you think global, not just one place, but I had specific goals for Nashville that I wanted to set, and I didn't feel like I could, call myself complete until I set those goals. So when I got one done, I just kept going until I was like, you know what, I can't stop till I get this. So that's the reason why I kept on. And then not to mention Tennessee State.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I'm on alma mater.
So from Tennessee State University, you stayed here.
Mm-hmm.
Then what was your first venture?
My first venture, so I used to sell polos out of TSU.
Okay.
That's my first venture in Nashville. Then I went on to throwing parties. And then at the parties, I did, what did I do? I opened Jazz and Jokes. So Jazz and Jokes was my first brick and mortar business. From there, Weekend, Agenda, then I did Cranky Chef, then I did this.
So man, one thing I respect about you is that you are a visionary. And there's a lot of people that really think in a box, but I think you think like 5 or 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And your thought process is what I've always admired about you. So we're in this super dope establishment, your newest venture called Minerva. So it used to be where you used to play numbers.
Yeah, it was numbers.
So what was the vision like when you saw this place and said, no, I see outdoor patio, I see hookah outside, I see cabanas, what was that process?
And seeing the building, I knew that when I start looking at this, we end up closing Agenda. So it was like, I want to keep the progression. How do I keep inspiring? Because I don't want nobody ever look at my story and feel like, dang, I guess that's it. You know what I mean? Like, nah, hey, this ain't it. Like, because so many people ready to put your tombstone in the ground. So it's like, nah, that was just the end of that chapter, but the book continues. So it was like, I got to go into what's next mode. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, I always wanted a bar. So it's like, how do we find this bar? I had friends that, opened a pizza place across the street. I'm like, man, forget it. Let's make this neighborhood, cool. Let's keep progressing it. So EJ was like, man, go look at that small numbers house. It's nothing, but you can, do something with it. So I walked in like, bam, this can be a cool bar. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna make this into a bar. It's small. It'll be the next stop. It's not what a club, but it'll be the next bar. So in walking outside, this was a driveway.
Right.
And that was grass and old cars, like junk cars was parked out here. And I was like, man, all right, this is gonna be the parking lot. And I was like, but man, if I can't really succeed with only 50 people, like,
right.
I don't know what to do. So I sat down and I looked. I literally stood right here for like an hour and just visioned out like, all right, this is what I'm finna do with this place. Like, no parking lot. Them 16 cars can park, in the barbershop. Dre let me, I know we worked something out with Dre. So I'm like, look, this is what we gonna do. We gonna completely make this an outdoor venue outside, and then put cabanas out here, put a bar out here, and expand our foot space. But as I start building, the vision got bigger. It's like, all right, this is what I'm gonna put right here. This is what we're gonna do right here. Let's cover this, you know what I mean? It just kept growing, like it's still growing. Like, man, I could do this with this to make it a full surface venue. I want people to be able to walk in here and get the same experience if you was in an indoor music facility or you was at Bridgestone. I want to have full service with plumbing, water, electrical. I want it to all flow. So I just kept thinking, and it just transpired, and it keeps transpiring. As you see.
Well, So as visionaries, when
Mm-hmm.
you have a vision and sometimes you share that vision and people don't see it.
They don't never
so
see
they
it.
never see
They never
what
see
that
it.
is, you know? So like what keeps you like progressing on? Like what makes you not hear the noise, but say, you know what, I'm going to open up an outdoor patio with some dope hookah, with fine cocktails in the middle of North Nashville. Like, I'm gonna have high fences. Like, when you start telling people that, they be like, okay, man, you crazy, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, so how do you keep pushing forward?
So this was my biggest test. I think every test becomes a testimony. Like, this was the biggest test I ever went through in my life. And I had so many times to throw the towel in. And I learned in vision and being visionaries, and if you have a vision, the biggest thing you can do to your vision is not share your vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can't give everybody your vision, because when you tell people, they start to tell you why this won't work.
Right.
So even in the creation of this and me telling people my vision, so many people told me why this wouldn't work, why I couldn't do this, or what I should do instead of doing what I knew that God placed in my heart.
Right.
It was like, he gave me the vision, but I want to listen to John Doe over here and say, look, don't do this, because this gonna do this.
Right.
And this person, so for like 5 months, even while we was opening, I had this vision for this place, but it was my vision and incorporated with so many do's and don'ts from people that, I mean, I respect, but I can't respect when it comes to what God has, this gift that God has gave me. So it's like, I'm not, Jay-Z said this quote, like, everybody can tell you how to do it, they never did it.
Right.
So it's like, I was listening to people that never did it tell me how to do it, and I did it.
Right.
So it's kind of backwards. It's
Yeah.
like the professor taking notes from the student, and having a vision, you have to stick with it, because if you try to take opinions from too many people, your vision get clouded. So I told myself on my birthday, I said, you know what? I'm scratching everything anybody ever told me about my original plan, and I'm going back to my original plan.
Gotcha.
So now I'm working what I should have worked in an original,
Yeah.
instead of listening to so many. So I say that if you got a vision, you got to protect it, because people will always tell you, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, but they didn't give you the sign. You got to take that sign that God gave you. So
man,
now I see, like, he like telling me now, like, bro, I told you from the beginning to do this, but you want to listen to this person.
Right.
So now I'm like, man, I just listen to the sign that he gave me.
Man, that's incredible. So when I come to Minerva, what do I experience? Like, what am I gonna experience when I come in?
Man, so we got everything craft. Everything's handcrafted. Hopefully you experience good service.
Yeah.
First thing.
Right.
At the good service, man, we hope you experience a good product. You know, we want to give people something that nobody ever had. Everybody told us the rules of being a craft cocktail bar. Like, we're gonna change the rules. We changing the rules of what it is to be a craft cocktail bar, because there's no rules to it.
Right.
We just following the most successful person blueprint.
Yeah.
And we aspire to be the most successful person.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So just all craft.
Craft. So craft drinks,
Craft hookahs,
craft hookah.
craft food,
Craft food.
everything come handcrafted and fresh. Ingredients, everything. You can eat anything. Maybe you can even eat the paper plastic at the front.
Well, man, it's incredible, man. You have an incredible story. You're inspired so many in the city. You inspire me, man. I really look.
appreciate it,
I
man.
really see what you do, man. I always inspired by other
Y'all
entrepreneurs.
recording this.
Yeah. I'm always
make
inspired
sure
by
y'all
other
record this,
entrepreneurs,
man.
other visionaries like myself, man. So you're doing incredible things. So we're gonna cheers to that, man.
I appreciate it, my brother.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Stepping off BNA, you're in Nashville, you need to come to Minerva Avenue and make sure you ask for Mind Your Business. So we're finna try it out with a little Guidance whiskey. Come check it out.
So our Mind Your Business cocktail consists of 2 ounces of Guidance whiskey. Then we add 1 ounce sour cherry syrup. We then add 1 ounce of lemon. And then we add half an ounce of simple syrup. And to finish it off, we add 2 dashes of cherry bitters.
All right, man, here y'all go.
Thank you, man. It's dope, man.
There you go.
Guidance in our life.
Yes, man. This has been an incredible episode of Creatives Over Cocktails with Robert Higgins, with Kenny Smooth, with 92Q, Minerva Avenue, and we're gonna cheers to this delicious Mind Your Business drink, man.
Appreciate you.
That's your business.
Yes.